just imagine that's the podcast screen. I've got a little bug down here. It says the Pagey train.
Yeah.
So I play the Pagey train live. So I've got three laptops, a vision switcher, and a monitor plugged into these cameras and this audio desk. Before it was just the cameras and the audio desk.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So all recycled stuff.
Not mad.
Yeah. So it's all like rebadged, and each computer has one purpose. Like that one's the recorder, that's the internet switcher, the other one's the bug. You probably can't see it because it's underneath there. Yeah, man, I've already started fucking sweating. I've started already. Oh my god. Hold on. Let me just get my shit together. I'm gonna fucking cry. I'm just gonna cry.
Just the sniff of a beer.
Oh, get through this first beer. Then I'll be right. Oh god. God, Lord help me. Oh. Speaking of the Lord.
Yeah.
It's Good Friday today.
It is.
Young Wade didn't know about fish on Good Friday.
Yeah, what is it? You can only eat
Eat fish. Only eat fish on Good Friday.
Nothing else.
Yeah, no other meat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can eat bread.
Fucking racist.
You can have a fish sandwich. Just can't put ham on it. Or beef.
As people usually do.
Beef and ham on a fish sandwich.
I'm going to try a fish finger sandwich with ham next time.
Yeah, but you know, that's why they do the filet fish at McDonald's.
Oh, really?
It's for the Catholics, yeah.
That's crazy.
So they can eat a filet fish on a Friday.
And that's why they've only got half a slice of cheese. It's all that Catholic guilt bullshit.
Well, they are pretty guilty. Let's face it, they are pretty guilty. But yeah, no, that's why they've got the filet of fish at McDonald's for Fridays, because Orthodox Catholics. Is that how you would say that, Orthodox Catholics? You know what I mean, like serious Catholics. They won't eat meat on Fridays at all. It doesn't have to be Good Friday, just any Friday.
You're fucking kidding.
Nah. Because you think about other religions where they talk about, what do you call it? Ramadan, right? Where Muslims, they will not eat for 40 days, I think it is. Yeah. But Christians, they do Lent. They'll do Lent, man. So all of them are kooky, if you ask me. They're all nuts.
Yeah, it's not surprising. When you're not allowed to wear fucking jeans, of course you can't have anything but fish on Fridays. It all starts to make sense.
Why can't you wear jeans?
Because it's like blended fabric.
Because it's from two different...
Yeah, it's an abomination.
Yeah. Denim's an abomination.
Yeah, they fucking throw that around a bit. Like prawns, abomination. Jeans, abomination.
Prawns?
Yeah.
The fuck's wrong with prawns?
Yeah, shellfish, apparently.
Can't eat shellfish.
You know how much they don't like gay people? That's how much they don't fucking like prawns or jeans.
Oh, wow.
It's because they're all about like that whole no sin is worse or better than the other one. So like being gay, may as well fucking wear your jeans and
go to Oxford Street, bloody eat some prawns while wearing denim. Shit. Yeah. So the trifecta.
What wacky fucking things to pick?
Oh, people are crazy though. People are crazy. Like I think they came up with rules like that just because I don't know. Maybe they just needed to manage expectations. Like the not eating pigs part. Sometimes I can understand that because you can get sick from eating pigs the wrong way.
But that was all like when we used to feed pigs medical waste. Yeah. And that's what was making people sick.
Oh, really? We fed them medical waste?
Yeah, so if you didn't cook your pork long enough, like you have God knows what bacteria in it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, you got to cook. You got to cook to a certain temperature for meat like that, and I think as well for herbivores. All the herbivores you got to cook to a certain temperature. Otherwise, they'll make you sick. It's got a toxic chemical in the meat that you got to eliminate with heat.
Well, yeah, there's like that brain parasite that you get from beef, and they reckon like the majority of the world has this fucking brain parasite.
Yeah, that's why we're all going fucking crazy.
Yeah,
yeah. No, they had they started feeding beef. Well, not beef, cows. They started feeding cows.
Fuck them, they're beef.
Yeah. Fuck them, they're beef, right? Yeah, absolutely. No, but they started feeding them cows, and I started feeding cows. You know how they have like little food pellets, and they're putting meat in it. So cows don't eat meat, right? They're ruminants. Okay. That's what they call them. They chew cud. And then they've got 6 stomachs and shit, right? And yeah, they were giving cows meat products to try and enhance their growing, and that's where mad cow disease came from. So when they fed them that, they got mad cow disease. Yeah.
Oh, fuck 'em.
I got a fucking beef. Fuck 'em. Yeah, no.
I saw a fucking cow when I went to the Easter show a few years ago,
Mm.
and I'm walking around with like my strawberry milk, having a great time, and this thing's just lying on its side. And as soon as I looked at it, I almost vomited because like its vagina was just like puckering and dribbling, God knows what.
Oh God.
Like midday.
Yeah.
Like fuck this thing. I hate cows now.
Man, I was just watching. What were we watching?
Eric Andre.
Eric Andre, right?
It's fucking excellent.
Fucking hell, man. We were watching the kid out of Sixth Sense. Can't remember the dude's name.
Haley Joel.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were showing a cow giving birth. They're like, oh, well, let's flick to his new movie. And yeah, there's a cow giving birth. And you're like, oh, you can see the embryonic sac, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is fantastic.
That's not where I'm keeping my Skittles. Fuck.
Absolutely. Oh well, let's kick off the show. What do you reckon, Mr. Wade? What do you reckon?
Yep.
All right, man. And so we'll get it kicking. We're already kind of kicking anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? All right, and welcome to the Pagey Train. Today I have in the studio with me Scotty Belshaw, sketch artist, and I don't know, political opinionist. Or a political pianist. I couldn't work it out.
Oh, shit talker.
Guy's got stuff to say. Yeah, no, we're on about beef. Beef, mate. We
Yeah.
had a beef with beef.
How old are we? We're talking about beef. Oh, what about this beef?
Yeah, what about this beef going on? Yeah. Yeah, life used to be a lot more interesting than where we are now. Yeah, no, man, as I said, when we were talking off air before, I know I'm getting old. I just know that I'm getting old. Like the hangover I had to deal with today is just fucking murder. It's just fucking murder, dude. Because I had a month off drinking.
Oh shit! How did that go?
It went really well for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks was really hard, and I kind of cheated. I had a beer 4 hours before the end of the timer. So that's
That's a soft end.
Yeah, it was a soft end. I did break the rules, but nonetheless, I 99.9% of it stayed sober. My dreams came back.
Figuratively.
Yeah. I started.
I started liking things and wanting to do stuff.
Yeah, I started to have aspirations again. No, it was really good. I lost weight.
My friend said that he stopped drinking just for like a month, and he said and he was eating more than he usually did, and he lost heaps of weight.
Yeah, it was noticeable. A
Yeah,
noticeable amount of weight. So yeah, no, I think I might do more spouts of not drinking instead of doing a whole month.
Yeah.
Just do 2 weeks here and there. I'm going to do dry July and smart March still, but I think even through the year I might go not drinking for the next 2 weeks. That's it.
How many do we have? Dry July, Smart March. I'm sure there's another one.
Well, I think I've coined Smart March. I think I'm the Smart March guy. There's Sober October is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to do Dry
I
July.
know it was November. I was thinking is No Nut November. That's got nothing to do with booze.
No, but November's Movember.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's the Movember month. Yeah.
I was spewing when I did Movember once. Like, I got right into it. I'd, shaved a Dr. Phil haircut for the whole month. Which my girlfriend at the time fucking hated. And my work fucking hated it as well. And I think I made, $200. And that was it. I had, the mustache and the Dr. Phil haircut for a whole month. $200.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
Not worth it.
No.
Just donate $200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grow your hair how you want.
It was pretty cool though when the boss is like, you can't do that. I'm like, how do you want me to grow my hair back?
Man, I've been seeing these. Have you seen the new trend of facial hair out there at the moment? The cat's tail. Have you seen the cat's tail?
No.
Hey, Wade, can you pull up on here, man? Can you check out images of Beard's cat's tail? Yeah, there you go. Firefox. That's the one you want. Type in Beard cat tail. Check this shit out, man. Yeah, so they grow a mow.
Yeah.
And then grow it, and then grow one sideburn, and they can shave half the beard. Yeah, check this shit out. Yeah. Yeah, pull one of these up, man. Yeah. See, look at that. Look at this guy here, bizarre monkey. So he's got a monkey's tail, right? So that's a new trend where they're doing like, yeah, they call it the cat's tail, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. I can't rock one of those because I don't grow sideburns.
I don't know how I feel about it. Like I know it's horrible.
Look at this guy, the monkey tail beard with the blonde. He's dyed it blonde.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that's a thing now. The cat's tail, they call it.
I suppose there's many things that may as well be one of them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, the cat's tail beard is a thing, and there was another one that's a thing at the moment as well. Oh, I saw the reverse mohawk.
I had one of those in high school.
You had a reverse mohawk where it goes that way, it goes around.
Oh no, I had like the landing strip.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
No, I saw a guy. He'd done the sideburns,
Yeah.
and he grew it right around the top of his head, so it looked like he was wearing a frisbee on his face.
It looked like Bill and Ben the flower pot or some shit.
Yeah, no, strange trends. Like I'm a bit jealous though. I can't do the cat's tail. I'd totally do it if I could.
I don't get why people get so weird about beards and let's like put product in it and do cat's tails and shit. It's just pubes. It's just pubes.
Yeah, totally face pubes.
I wonder if you could get crabs in your beard.
You probably could.
Because they can't, like, I know that their legs, like, they've evolved so their legs can't hold on to normal hair follicles. But, like, specifically pubes. So you could probably get...
I know. Can you check that out, Wayne? Can your beard get pubes? I mean, can... Of course your beard can have pubes. No, can...
That's when you go through, like, beard puberty. Your beard gets pubes.
Yeah, imagine you could have face crabs.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it sounds worse than crabs.
You could weaponize that, for sure.
You can drop a crab bomb. Yeah, turn a whole bunch of baristas bald, you know.
Man, I went and got like a trim, like my beard cleaned up a couple of weeks ago, and this guy had like,
crabs. Let's see if he gets crabs, mate. He wrote it.
That's great.
That's my bad.
Here we go. Pubic lice usually is found in the genital area on the or on pubic hair, but they can occasionally be found on other courses of the body, such as on your head, your legs, your armpits, moustache, and beard. Yes, you can, in fact, get crabs in your beard.
Man.
Scary days.
Well, now we don't have to test it for science. We know.
Yeah.
I was getting worried about that.
Yeah. I don't know how you go and test that out though. You'd have to go and like rub your face all kinds of precarious places.
Just fucking train seats.
Yeah. Oh, just get on the train, man. You'll end up with the flu, corona, and face crabs. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Hey, mate, have you been catching a train? Speaking of trains, like, are you normally pre-corona? Are you a train commuter?
Rarely.
Okay.
Rarely, but yeah, I caught the train maybe like a month ago, and it was really weird and depressing. Like more often, like more than it usually is, weird and depressing. Like, yeah, everyone just seemed really scared, and they're all wearing like their masks.
All got masks on.
And like, you know, in the quiet carriage, when there's always someone that talks, and everyone's like, "This fucking piece of shit." You have like someone on the carriage without a mask, and everyone's like, that was their level of perturbation. It was just that fucking piece of shit.
Everyone's sniggling.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking jerk. No fucking face mask on, talking in the quiet carriage. Why can't you just read a book?
Cover your fucking face.
Cover your face. You'll get crabs. Yeah, no, I haven't caught a train in over a year, man. I've talked to a few people about it, and they say the same thing. It's just a weird thing. But there is always a guy on the train that's talking in the quiet carriage, and
it's always really loud about personal issues. Like, listen to me, I have a mouth. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And it was like, you're an adult. Have you ever caught a train before?
Yeah.
You know, would you talk like this in a library? You know, because essentially that's what it is, right? It's just a library carriage. That's why I look at it. It's like a library.
Yeah. And like,
people in there reading.
To be on there. Like, even if like people do it every day, they don't want to be on a fucking train. They're already irritated. They're like on this tipping point of clock tower sniper bullshit, and then someone starts, "Oh yeah, so the other." Shut the fuck up.
I felt really bad about 2 years ago, right? I took currently where I work, I was on a quiet carriage on the way back to the Blue Mountains. I usually go on the quiet carriage because no one talks, and I usually watch either the ABC because I'm a left wing communist, obviously, so I'm watching the ABC on a train.
Eating babies and shit.
Eating babies and advocating for the redistribution of wealth, or maybe it's just that I like watching Media Watch. It's hard to say, but
Media Watch is the shit.
I love Media Watch.
Yeah.
Big fan of it. And there was someone was talking on the train, and then someone piped up and said, "Hey, can you just stop talking? You're on the quiet carriage." And then an argument ensued. It's going back and forth, and there was this lady who was going off. She was doing a total Karen. This is before they were Karens. They were identified as Karens. So this is the...
So she's like hipster Karen.
Yeah. She's primordial Karen, right? And she's fully doing a Karen. And then there was this guy, and he was just he was being polite about it. Just reminded her, pointed at the sign.
Yeah.
And then she just went on and on and on. And then he's like, I'll go get the guard, and he'll tell you. She goes,
wow, committed to it.
It got to that escalation, right? And she's like, well, why don't you go do that? And then I man, you've been really mean to him. And I'm like, when you
swap sides.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, oh man, it's just a train. Who gives a shit? And then I'm like, hey, that was really nasty. You didn't need to say that to him. And then I'm going, you are on a quiet carriage.
Yeah.
You are on one. Like, it's your choice to make noise. Like, it's not the law. Can't tell you, you're not breaking any laws, but it is the quiet carriage. Anyway, I just started a new job. And then, when you go around to work and you get introduced to everybody, or, you always have a guide that sort of inducts you into your new workplace.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they work where I work. Yeah.
I've been so terrified of that, like driving to work, just flipping people off and screaming at them, and then going, "Fuck, are they going to be at work?"
yeah, because you're on their route to work, right?
Yeah.
So the chances are they could be working with you.
I have done it to a co-worker without knowing it was a co-worker once.
Yeah.
I didn't even feel bad because she was a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, big shout out, you piece of shit.
She lives in the mountains and she drives around those slight bends in the mountains like a townie.
Yeah.
Like at 10 k's an hour. I hate that shit.
Yeah. No, that annoys. The ones that annoy me are the ones that they go through the lights really slow. When you go right turn on a light.
Leave! It's green! Go!
Yeah, get going. In fact, and then there's the two ones that annoy me. It's the ones that are going through the lights slow or leave late.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, we should all take off like a snake, right? Like, as you see the light change, you should start to roll and then get the momentum as you go around. And sometimes I look at the gaps between people going through the lights and going, you fucking bastard. You could have been right up his ass. Why'd you get in there? I get mad road rage, I do.
Yeah, same. I worked, like, as a teenager and, like, a young 20-something, I had the filthiest temper. And it took me years and years to try and curtail this temper. And then when I started driving, I'm like, all over again. Now I've got to learn how to not be angry in a car. And that's even worse.
Yeah. Well, I don't do it when there's people in the car. when you've got passengers, it's a little bit better. But it still bubbles out every once in a while. Because I'm the same. I have a terrible temper sometimes. And I've had to be really mindful of that to pull in the nets. Because sometimes it's just inappropriate to be that furious about over nothing, right?
Yeah, I feel bad about it afterwards.
Yeah, totally.
I feel really guilty. But in the moment, I'm like, I'm fucking right.
yeah, totally. And you need to hear this. Yeah. But in the car it's a bit different, I think, because you're in a dangerous environment, and the tensions are higher.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So yeah, but I don't know. What if you went through like as a pedestrian and transcribed your road rage into being a pedestrian?
That's what I think. Like, I walk now and people are walking slowly in front of me, and I'm thinking, just move out of my way or move to the left. Like, you're not in a car. Don't tell people how to walk. But it's like, yeah.
But it is common sense, though. You pull over left, and I had the right lane bloody bandits, I call them, right lane bandits, man. That are just holding up the game, because like, let's face it, if you're not speeding in Sydney, then you're running late. So it's okay to do the speed limit. Get in the far left lane if you want to go under the speed limit. Get in the middle lane if you want to do the speed limit.
Yeah, straight up.
And if you want to do 5 to 10 over,
yeah,
Because then the other ones I hate are ones that take it to the extreme where they want to do 140 in a bloody 100 zone.
You know, it's easier. Like, if you're in the right-hand lane and someone's behind you and they're going faster, because you'd be looking in your mirror, just pull into the left-hand lane for a bit.
Yeah.
And let the right-hand lane just let them zoom past you and then go back. No hassles.
Yeah.
No hassles at all.
But they're out there. And we know who we're talking about. You know who you are.
Yeah. Fucking scum of the earth.
Because they go, well, I'm doing the speed limit.
Yeah.
And they always, I look at them and they just feel smug to me. It's always bloody, they do, but it's always the same
Look
car.
at you being safe. Oh,
Yeah. I'm going to hold you up because you're being a dangerous driver. No, it's always, oh man, it's always like I-30s, man. Do you drive an I-30? Don't tell me you drive an I-30.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's either that or Utes, I've found. P-plater Utes.
Yeah, P-plater Utes, Commodores, and Mercs.
Yeah.
Mercs are pretty bad as well.
Yeah, you've always got one top-down fuckwit.
Yeah.
Just, this is my bit of road.
Yeah. They very territorial. Territorial in nature. But I think I've got a theory about the old I-30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because like they go, well, cause most I-30s are brand new cars. Because they're cheap new cars. Like, you can either buy a second-hand car or buy a cheap new car. And an I-30 is a cheap new car. And they're like, well, I've got a new car. I can do anything I want. I'm like, fucking move, man. You're in the way. We should get the fastest person up the front. That's what we should be doing.
So they're getting around in home brand ice cream.
Yeah. Thinking they're in a Merc. Yeah. But a Merc driver knows that they're in a Merc. They go, oh, fuck it, I have a Merc and I can do anything I want. Yeah, I think... yeah, the other ones are Jeeps. Jeep Cherokees. They're the ones that bug me as well.
Oh, anything huge is always a piece of shit. And the younger the person you see in that car when they're huge, it just makes me really angry straight away.
Yeah.
Like, number one, how do you have that much money? Stop it. And then number two, please learn how to drive a tank if you're going to drive a tank.
Yeah, but they live at home until they're 40. So
Yeah.
they don't pay rent, right? But, yeah.
Oh, winning tip there.
Yeah, stay at home, kids. It's cheaper. Yeah, I like to mess with P-platers, though. I love to mess with them. They're easy to mess with. Like, you know how you have the fixed traffic lights? Oh, not traffic lights, speed cameras?
Yeah.
When they're speeding, and you know how they'll slow down?
Yeah.
When I'm up behind them, and I know that they've been speeding, and you know they were a bit aggressive overtaking me or whatever,
Yeah.
I flick my lights as they go past the speed camera.
That's excellent.
So they fucking think they get a fine.
That's great.
Because they're driving and they saw a flash, but they go, what was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's brilliant. I'm going to keep that.
Yeah, that's really good. And I do the I don't know, it's like a nudge forward. You know when you're riding side by someone in a dual carriageway, and you go a little bit faster, and then they go a little bit faster, and it's a bit of a tug of war of who's going to break the speed limit the most.
Yeah. It's always me.
Yeah.
I'm stubborn as fuck.
Yeah, but a P-plate is hard to crack because they usually got more, they got more testosterone going on. I'm like, nah, I'm going to beat this guy, right? And when I know that there's a mobile speed camera ahead, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get this guy.
And then pull back.
And then push him all the way up, get him up to 20, and then pull right back.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. I got one the other day. You can see if he's doing these ones to me. You fucking bastard! I'm like, you shouldn't be fucking speeding, bro. The difference between maturity and your shitty little P-plate.
That's great. Oh, you're a piece of shit.
I am. I'm terrible. I'm mischievous, man. I'm mischievous.
You're just giving them enough rope. That's all it is.
That's it. They're doing their own decisions. Their own decisions. Well, the other one is just point at their car with concern.
Oh,
And then drive away. Because then you'll see it. I've never seen it, but I hope that it happens, that they get out of their car and look at where I was pointing, going, I don't fucking know.
He's got like one of those mirrors to check bombs under the car and shit.
But yeah, like point at it, like be vigorous, like there, there,
Oh, man.
and then drive away. Yeah, I love messing with the P-platers.
Yeah, I had like this old bloke, and I was going just the speed limit. That's it. I'm going down the hill, and you don't have to use your brakes at all, going around all the way down the hill, unless there's, a car or there's traffic or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, so I'm going down this
A dog
hill.
pushing a pram, whatever. You know.
Yeah. I'm going down the hill and I'm just doing the speed limit. That's it. And this old bloke would have been like 70 in this really like regal looking car. What I don't know about cars could fill a fucking book. It was just this really rich looking car. And he sped up, went in front of me and then slowed down. I'm like, what the fuck? So I just, without like slowing down, I just went into the next lane. And then he stayed in both lanes. And I'm like, what the fuck? And once we got around the corner, he was like pointing at me and going, like, so he was trying to get me to slow down to under the limit. And he's like, oh, this whippersnapper's going to kill himself. I'm like, thanks. But also, you're a real piece of shit, Gerald. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, that's probably my uncle. Big shit out, Gerald. Taught me everything I knew. Taught me everything I know.
But like the mental gymnastics of this old man going, I'm going to stop someone from having an accident by straddling both lanes and driving under the limit. What the fuck?
Yeah, I had the other one, like, yeah, because I don't know, I suppose that's when we're getting older, right? Like, because there was a time where we were P-platers and we were more aggressive.
I still am, man. I just keep renewing them.
Oh, you don't upgrade?
Nah. Keeps me honest.
Well, I have to tell a story. I actually never was a P-plater.
What?
Yeah, because I got my license in North Queensland.
Yeah.
Technically I'm provisional, but you don't have to wear your P's up there.
Oh, for real?
But the strange thing is you have to wear your P's in Queensland.
Yeah.
But they just have an unwritten rule there, like, we don't do that around here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then you get pulled over in Brisbane. They're like, you got no P plates on. I go, I'm from Townsville. They go, oh, yeah, okay. So even outside,
no worries. Man.
Even outside, they were like, oh, yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Like,
you just talk like a little bit slow, and they're like, oh, that's what, you're from Townsville. We don't have P plates.
Well, you can easily discover that someone's from Townsville by how they start and finish a sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually ends in the word A. So you'll be like, it's odd A. Oh, yeah, no shit, A.
How
it's
many
fucking boiling,
Townsvillians are in the Red Cow then? Like, I'll have a fucking skewy, eh?
Yeah, I'll have a
There's heaps
skewy.
of 'em.
Yeah. Look, I've got like, I love the Red Cow. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's where I frequent the establishment often, and but I haven't got my membership card.
Yeah, Bianca had one. I'm like, what the fuck have we got a membership card for? And then dude behind the bar went, oh, it doesn't really do anything. I think it gives you like, what, 2 cents off a beer or something.
Yeah, no, it gives you 10% off before 7.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it does. But you can't get 10% off on a... so it's only between 6 and 7 because then before 6 is happy hour.
Yeah.
So it won't discount a happy hour drink.
Goodness.
And then it will discount a drink after 6 but not after 7.
So you're getting like 1 drink discount.
Yeah, 10%. Yeah. And normally I'd give them a tip anyway. So if I'm paying cash, I'd usually do a tip here and there. But yeah, it's a little card and it's got a golden cow on it. And
okay, now I want one.
Yeah, see? Yeah, immediately, right? Because I said, why isn't it a red cow? And they go, well, you're a gold member. I'm like, wow, because then this is like a golden cow and it's like a false idol. I totally want it.
Just put a nice nifty little Baphomet on the card.
Yeah, I want to dance around with fire, around it, I just want my card, man. Just give me my card. Yeah, no, I didn't. I haven't got my membership card. She's like, I said it to her yesterday. She goes, you're not here often. I'm like, what?
Well, maybe that's good. Like,
maybe it is. Oh no, but just because I wasn't there for the last month, I only went there once in the last month because I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
And when I went there, I was drinking ginger ale.
Well, what did we learn?
Well, after the boiling hot sweats I've had today over this fucking hangover, I've gotten old, man. I've gotten old, Scotty. I have gotten old. I cannot cope with the hangover like I used to.
You know how I used to, like, the only thing that would make me feel better when I had a hangover was I'd go and sit in the shower, I'd turn it on, like, pretty hot, and have, like, a cheeky wank, sitting down on the floor of this shower, and then I'd just have a nap, and then when the water ran cold, it'd wake me up, and
That's a good system.
I'd feel invigorated. I'd feel better. I was ready for the day.
Yeah. I'll do it. That's a great plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally I sit in the shower and weep. That's what I do. Yeah, I used to have a theory when I was young. When we back in the day we went to nightclubs. Remember that?
Yeah.
When was the last time you were in a
I
nightclub?
remember being a real person.
Yeah. Like, I haven't been into a nightclub in over a decade, I think.
I used to go to like Batcave and shit like that.
Yeah.
And looking back, and I'm like, that's pretty embarrassing.
It's pretty bad, isn't it? I used to go to, like, and they'd have all these stupid names like 209, you know,
Yeah.
209 on Queen, or what's the one in Penrith there? Vipers, it was called? Yeah, Vipers. Like,
Yeah,
I go to a nightclub called Vipers.
Ooh, that's how you know you're tough. Right?
All these ridiculous names. And I used to have a theory, though, because you know when you get the stamp? Get a stamp going into a nightclub? I used to have a theory that stamp was poisonous. So you used to have to sit in the shower, and or maybe shit in the shower as well. I'm not sure, but if you sit in the shower, and by the time the stamp had worn away in the shower, you were good to go.
Maybe I didn't have to wank and nap this whole
Yeah.
time.
It's just don't get the stamp, man. We'll fucking poison you. But man, I was a little bit, like, believe it or not, I was a little bit cheeky when I was younger. Maybe still a little bit cheeky.
I could believe it.
Because I was telling a story yesterday. Because we're talking simply. I think that's what's brought it up. Because you change where you drink as you get older.
Yeah.
It changes. It molds and changes and evolves, and so do the times too. Like, I think if you look at the Bavarian, for instance.
Yeah.
When the Bavarian started up, that really changed Penrith, because then other establishments looked at, well, they're doing this boutique thing.
Yeah, how wanky can we be and get away with it?
And then there was a bit of a, we're not going to be wanky like that. And then everyone just went to the Bavarian because you get like a $5 Stein. How can you pass up a $5 Stein? It's half a litre of beer, like 100 mils, $1. But then all the other places started popping up, like Mr. Watkins and all these other sort of places. The Union, I think it's called. Or was it the Social?
Yeah,
High Street Social.
Yeah.
And they started doing these different sort of things, serving food.
Trying to bring us culture.
Yeah. That's a smart idea. Gentrification, it's a thing that happens, right?
It is, yeah. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if I talked to you about it before, but like there was this dude that said he was doing a lecture and he was in Newtown and he was saying about how gentrification just ruins these areas because all the greatest art comes out of like these low socioeconomic areas. And then you can't, like, people pick up on that and they go, oh, this is kind of trendy. And then they start to gentrify the area and it just kind of sterilizes it of all that creativity.
Yeah, it sort of removes the grain.
Yeah.
Takes out the granules and makes it smooth.
Yeah, because I think in a lot of those areas like ours, it's like it's necessity, like that drives that creative.
Yeah,
culture.
it is. It is out of necessity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we don't have much.
But
maybe I can make something. Like if there's not much around, maybe I can make something.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you're also creating, like, I'd like to see in Penrith more. There's not enough music venues. Like, there's nowhere that plays music.
Used to be great.
It used to be.
And it goes through these waves, but it just stopped at maybe 5 years ago. It stopped going through those.
Yeah,
those
it's happened.
cycles.
Yeah, it happened. I've watched it happen twice in the last decade. I can tell that by looking at the bills that I've been on in the band, because I've only ever done 3 or 4 gigs in Penrith.
Yeah.
And they're always the best, by the way. Like,
Yeah, every band I've been in, it's usually just we're playing around Penrith.
yeah, and there's always a crowd there, and a crowd that's not there because they're the girlfriends of all the other bands, but they're there because they want to have a drink and listen to some music.
Yeah.
And it's always been a hoot, but there's not enough venues for that. I'd like to see a comedy club. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rad.
Yeah, or just a performance space where they do a comedy night, something like that. I reckon that'd be really cool.
The way it's going, it wouldn't be any like cool little grassroots thing anymore, though. It'd be like this real fancy, well-to-do thing. It'd be just like Q Theatre or something like that.
Yeah, no, I'd like a sticky floor somewhere that has where the urinal cakes aren't doing the job.
They never do their job anyway. I'm sure they're just decoration. They're piss decoration, which is really weird.
Yeah, but now they got because remember, like, we used to flush urinals. Remember that? We don't flush urinals anymore. It just all runs through the pipes through a minty cake.
Well, look, first it was that, then it was self-serve checkouts. Next, it's Skynet.
Yeah. No flushing urinals.
Cakes.
All started with urinal cakes,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the downfall.
man.
That was the beginning of the end. Yeah.
That's what happened in the before times.
Yeah. They need to do the prequel, the Terminator now, where it all started.
It's a sentient urinal cake. I know plenty of people that I would describe as a sentient urinal cake. Funnily enough.
200 people a day piss on their name. You know. Indeed, yeah. No, I have to agree with you there. I do. I definitely do. I do know people like that. Big shout out to all of you.
You pieces of shit.
You pieces of shit.
That's the cool thing about like where we live, though. It's like it kind of is a piece of shit, but it's our piece of shit. It's got character. It's got history.
Yeah, it does.
And now, like the fancier it gets, I'm like, I don't want to be one of those losers that goes, "Oh, I don't like the new stuff." Like, but
we are getting old, and that's a trait of getting older.
yeah, I know. I keep trying to catch myself on that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's I don't know. It's just turning into Parramatta. I'm like, we've already got Parramatta. What? We don't need another one.
Well, I've learned a lot about this.
We need one. Like,
I mean, I've learned a lot about this because I go to a lot of I call them drum beating sessions or circle jerks is another thing I call them. So you can go to these meetings about how the city is going to grow.
yeah,
And basically, I go to those meetings to look for arts funding.
yeah,
Right, so you go try and rub shoulders with people, and after a while, you realise it's a closed circle anyway, and they've already made their decisions.
this is all just for pork barreling. You're not getting it.
Yeah. It's if you want a free lunch, great. They'll feed you a substandard sandwich, but
Sweet.
and maybe some OJ, But now you go to these beating the drum meetings, and they've got a plan for the plan for Sydney is you've got Sydney City, Parramatta, which they call Central Sydney,
Yeah,
and then you've got Sydney City West. And their
Okay.
plan is City West, and out of City West, their plan is to once the airport's finished, they've already earmarked bits of land to have different purposes. So industrial areas, residential, and business areas.
yeah,
So out of those industrial areas, they want to do like a tech area, like a air quotations Silicon Valley-esque
Okay, yeah.
scenario. They want to build up business districts, like in particular a CBD. They want to build a CBD out this way. It's going to be between here and Liverpool. It'll be around there. So you'll in the next 15 years, our region is going to change beyond recognition.
all that's going to do is push people out of the market.
Yeah, but that's what I think. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you've got boutique beer coming to your town, you can go, oh, well, maybe it is becoming too gentrified.
Yeah.
But if you've got a sticky floor place where comedians can get their first shot, then it's creating accessibility. That there are those two things that go on. So out of the building the CBD, there'll be plenty of work for people. There's work that's generated out of that, but you just have to be, I guess, you have to be okay with that change. And I don't think a lot of people are. I don't think it's hard for the government don't know, and nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody does. They just don't.
Yeah, it's true.
They're just building this thing and hoping that things build around it. They don't actually have. They have. As I said, they've earmarked land to do things, but they don't know if it will function that way. Like no one can have that foresight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's like look at Warragamba area. How lately there was the floods and shit, and they said that because there's been so much development around the area, it's all just hard surface. Like there's no bushland to soak that water back up again, and so these things are going to get worse and worse and worse. And like that was maybe a 5-minute conversation, like in the media, it was over and done with. And now we're just back to let's make jobs by building more things everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's damned if you do and damned if you don't scenario. But I did notice before the floods happened in Penrith this year that there was a lot of advertisement going, have you got a flood plan? I've talked about it on the show before and Misty and I would see these things going, they know it's coming.
Yeah.
And then you go, how do they know it's coming? How? How do they know? So they must be getting metrics from somewhere.
Maybe one of them's Lex Luthor.
Yeah, no, maybe. Well, somewhere a scientist is going, hey, you guys got a problem.
Yeah.
Somewhere a scientist has gone, you got a problem.
Well, yeah, they did that with the fires, and government didn't fucking.
And then fucking do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But now they're starting to do things about it. And I think you could argue about it, like, human-created climate change, or is the climate changing? These silly semantical arguments that the data shows, that the scientific data shows, like which it doesn't matter about your political stance on things.
Yeah, that's it.
It's still going to burn. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't make a fire doesn't care whether you're a Greenie, a Liberal, or a Labor voter.
Yeah.
Like, it's still your house is still going to burn
the
down.
vast consensus is that it's at least exacerbated by humans and industry.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, and I don't know, not to get too bogged down into it, but you could have a volcano that erupts that will release a year's worth of carbon dioxide from human-created carbon dioxide a year. But then you go, well, it's not just carbon dioxide. We always talk about carbon dioxide. They've now started to find it's more about methane.
Yeah.
And talking about beef, right?
Yeah.
Beef is the biggest contributor.
See, I said fuck beef, didn't I?
Fuck beef, man. Got to kill those pricks. But they don't fart it. You'd think that they fart methane, but they don't. They breathe it. They breathe methane. They exhale methane
They are
out of their stomach.
filthy creature.
There's 6 stomachs, man. Ruminant. They're a ruminant. So they has to go like there to break down grass into a protein and sugar useful compound. It's got to go through 6 stomachs to make that happen. And they're a complex animal. If you look at sheep or chickens, their carbon footprint is significantly lower. Significantly lower. Sheep is still high, but nowhere near the handles of beef. Like beef, like the amount of methane that comes out of beef. And the other ones that they found actually, because you'd point to the obvious, you go, it's coal-fired power stations, or it's carbon monoxide coming out of cars. These are obvious indicators. Yeah. But there's other ones out there that are way more subtle that are actually doing way more damage, and that's beef. Yeah. That's human waste sites. So garbage tips giving off a lot of methane because they're sitting there decomposing and giving off heat and methane. So there's these other elements that it doesn't matter how much you turn off cars. You're still the tip is still there. The cows are still out there. There's still these processes going on. But that, again, though, that's on the outside of the argument. I believe that whether you believe it's human climate change or it's climate change, the data shows that the climate is changing. Yeah, the data shows that. So we need to adapt to it. We need to adapt to it and mitigate it. And solar panels are a way to doing that. And I found it amusing recently. They've come out and they want to charge people with solar panels. Have you heard this? Yeah. They want to charge them a tariff.
For giving back to the grid.
Yeah.
For putting energy back into the grid. I didn't read it. I read the headline and went, oh no, it's April Fool's Day. I'm not going to fuck around with this. I'll wait for a week and then I'll read it again.
Yeah, but obviously there was massive public uproar. We won't hear about it again for 6 months. But they were trying that shoe on to see if it fit. Yeah. And you're like, hold on. Like, that's how stupid they think the public is. Yeah. Like, you go, hold on, but all right, well, I won't supply power to the grid then. Yeah. How about that? Well, you can't have it. If you're going to charge me for it, you can't have it.
I imagine that's part of what they want, because then once that happens, then the data will start showing, oh, solar isn't that much of a benefit. Why are we using it? Let's open up more minds.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really, really good point. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. Oh, we're going to charge you for helping out the grid because the grid's overloaded. Just ridiculous. But it's all. Here's the other thing: is that the dinosaurs, man. Everything's going to go to battery. Every house is going to have a battery, and it's going to charge it overnight. And they go, but the wind doesn't always blow, and the sun doesn't always shine. Yeah, but a battery can always charge during the day. Yeah, and it can supply you at night.
What fucking country do we live in? We're in like one of the best countries to be doing like solar and wind and storing shit in batteries.
Totally,
we should be doing it.
I had this crazy idea, man. Like they should be building like tanker ships of lithium batteries that they plug into South Australia. And then they send it overseas, and then they plug into the ship and send another one over.
Why not?
And I thought, we can literally export power. Yeah. Right. Rather than exporting the source that makes it, we can literally export energy.
Imagine how volatile it would be, like shipping like lithium ion stores, though.
No more than oil, really. Like oil's pretty dangerous.
Forgetting about all the Krakens.
Oh yeah.
We'd be fucked.
Yeah, well, bringing up the Bronze Age. The only thing we've held on to is Jesus, but I think we let Krakens go. Jesus is still about. They let the Kraken go.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, but imagine that. Like back in the day, it was a reasonable excuse. I go, what happened to your ship, mate? I'm like, oh, fucking giant octopus, bro.
I'm just gonna try it on at work.
And then yeah.
Just in an HR meeting, like fucking.
It wasn't that I was asleep at the wheel and pirates fucking robbed me while I was asleep, because that would look bad. So I'm going to go back with a different story. No, Octopus Man just
You guys heard of Krakens? let me float something here.
And the captain's like, oh yeah, I remember I fell asleep on duty once. Yeah, that could happen. Yeah, fucking octopus, mate. They get big. They get big. Those fucking psycho squid. No, it used to be a reasonable excuse. Now
That's
it doesn't.
really awesome.
Yeah. True story, man. True story.
I just thought it was because people were stupid, but it's actually because they're really clever.
Yeah. No. It's because some people are really clever and other people are really stupid. Yeah. It's kind of how religion and politics work. It's based on a level of intelligence. They don't want critical thinkers out there. You know, if you think back even before, 400 years ago, where you had the Lutherans dividing up from the Catholics. Sorry, not the Lutherans, but the Protestants. Protestants is a word for protest. Yeah. They protested against the Catholic Church. Like priests were going, kind of want a wife, got sexual desires, want a wife.
Mint.
And they're like, fuck you, Catholic Church, we're going to do our own thing. And we're going to teach our people how to read the book. How do you like that?
Yeah.
And they didn't like that because they didn't want people reading, man.
Well, yeah, like that was like back in the Middle Ages, all the sermons were done in Latin. And so like the vast amount of people like did not fucking speak Latin. They were farming pigs and shit and stuff. And so then like we would paint all these pictures of like scenes from the Bible, and that's how people would learn about the Bible, and that's how they
through
would get,
graphics.
Yeah, so that's how they would get their mass, and that's like at that time, that's when the church was just like stockpiling all these fucking riches and shit. Like that was their heyday. Like they're pretty good at doing it now, but back then,
back then they were fucking good at it,
and so they were using art as like this like. Yeah,
it's frustrating, isn't it?
It was just to say to someone, oh, well, actually, this is what you should be doing. This is what the Bible said. And then over time, just gradual changes in these paintings of just diverting from what the mass actually was.
Yeah, it's not the first time that art's been weaponized, man. Like art has been weaponized through history. Like even ballet, they weaponized ballet. Can you believe it or not?
For real?
For real, man. Yeah, because military.
That's pretty badass.
Military drill, man. Military drill. You know how they used to march people onto battlefields and get them into formations?
Yeah.
This is all based on ballet.
Really?
And it's timed to music. It's done to a beat of a drum, and you can listen to a horn, and the horn, the song would tell you what formation you need to be in or what's going on. Like in the morning they would call it reveille, and you hear that tune, it means time to get up. They even had a tune for being at the pub. It was called Tattoo. If you heard Tattoo, it means war's back on, get away from the pub, you've got to get back to the battleground.
No way.
So if you heard Tattoo, you're like, oh shit, they're back. Fuck, put your drink, get your guns, we've got to go.
That's pretty wicked.
Yeah, so they use, and that's where they weaponized music and ballet to form battles on the battlefield.
That's pretty cool.
Camouflage is cubism, man.
Yeah, I remember you saying this.
Yeah.
It was really fucking interesting.
Yeah, so and it was Picasso himself painted cannons, man. You would have seen photos of them. You ever see photos of World War I cannons? They're painted like rainbows.
No.
Yeah, hey, can you pull that up, Mr. Wade? Can you just type in World War I cannon rainbow? Yeah.
Don't click on the Pornhub link.
Yeah, no, don't do the Pornhub link. That's going to get yeah, he's still got it. Can you get crabs in your beard?
World War One, what?
World War One cannon. Okay, World War One cannon, and then go rainbow. There we go. See if I'll go to images and just go to images. See if you can find me one. There'll be one there somewhere. Can't find. Oh yeah, there's similar versions of it. Go down there. Let's see. Yeah, see that one there.
No.
With the swirls on it. Go back up a bit. There we go. That one on the right there, Wade, where it says Harold. Yeah, click on that. See, that's cubism, man. And
we don't.
Yeah, so Picasso himself painted some of these cannons. They also did it with ships. So they would paint ships angular patterns.
Yeah.
So that you couldn't tell which direction they travel on the water. Because if you can anticipate where a ship is traveling, you can launch a torpedo at it to meet.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell where it's going... So, like, artists were some of the most employed people during World War I and World War II.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who would have thought it? Because you'd think that art would take a side seat for these sort of things. But they're actually employed in a lot of ways, artists. There's always been that intersection, but they're not. I always hear these comments that you hear about avionics in particular. Avionics wouldn't have advanced the way that it did if it wasn't for the war, and I hate that shit, man. I truly do not believe it. Like, you could say that we were put under pressure, so we had to crack the Enigma code and come up with computing to do these sort of things, but these people were studying this well before the war started. Now, von Braun was not... He didn't get into the war to launch rockets at England. He wanted to build rockets to go to space. That was always his desire. Say what you like, it's terrible things that happened. He was in charge of a concentration camp. The Nazis that were taken out of World War II were put into NASA. These things did happen. But most of these people, their desires went beyond warfare. They were literally about human endeavour.
Yeah, well, I suppose most things that we fucking do or make always end up being weaponized, which is really strange. I suppose it's easy to go, oh, it's something to do with the species. But, like, I think it really, really is. Like, we split the fucking atom. What do we do with that?
Yeah. Like, held the world hostage for a good 40 years.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. Like, just think about, like, all the thought and engineering that went into making a gun. Like, that there were some clever fucking forward-thinking people that were making these things.
Yeah.
And the applications of the science that went into making, like, something that shoots a projectile. Like, there must be more applications than
well, it actually invented its own
weaponizing it.
science. It's called ballistics.
Yeah.
Ballistics is a science that studies this, and that was formed out of these things. Rifling, the way that a bullet spins through the air, and carried by its velocity. And then they have your fall of shot, your point of aim. These things are all very scientific in nature.
Yeah.
So even the application of the use of weapons as well, not just the creation, not just the engineering of them, the application of them is scientific. And you think, oh man, we could, what a waste of energy. We could have been doing other things, right?
Yeah.
But I always argue, like, the Wright brothers, Orville Wright, man, they flew those planes outside of wartime. They didn't have the dream of flying to go, do you know what'd go good with this plane? Fucking machine gun, mate. I'll whack a machine gun on here. I can mow a whole bunch of people down. They would buy it. They would buy that for sure, bro. Orville, got an idea, mate. I know we run this bike store, right? We've got to get this shit together. We've got to learn how to fly this because we've got to sell this to the government, and they're going to kill our enemy. That's what they're going to do. I just don't think they thought that way.
Even bicycles. Now you've said it. Bicycles, like in war and shit. That's nuts. They've like, it's funny. It's funny to look at those pictures.
Yeah.
It's just upset they didn't have, like, machine guns on a penny farthing.
Oh man, I've got one for you. Hey, check this out, Wade. Check this out. Pull up, moped or scooter cannon. You won't believe this, man. You won't believe this. Moped cannon. Yeah, PED. Yeah, moped cannon. Yeah. All right. So it was the Italians that did this one. Yeah, there it is. Pull up that second picture there. I shit you not. This is used in warfare. Yeah. So that's
It would. How did it not, like, just blow up into pieces?
I think that's by looking at it. I think that's like a 84mm cannon, which is fucking huge. And that's an Italian moped. I think it's what you call that's a Vespa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vespa's got an idea for you. What do we whack a cannon on this bad boy?
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. They do all kinds of crazy shit. Now, I don't think the guy that invented a moped had this intention.
How did it not turn the moped into the projectile?
No, well, imagine. Well, I think that see how it's got this big stock on it.
Yeah.
Big stand. I think they dig it in, like they dig it into the ground, then fire it.
Just use fucking cannon.
I don't think you would. I don't think you'd fire it on the move. That would be. I don't think that's what. That would be.
It would be like in GTA 3 when you're shooting the cannon, like the tank cannon behind you to go faster.
Yeah. No, I think. But imagine there was some drunk Italian somewhere who's gone, hold my beer. Man, they do though. That's what they do. We weaponize shit. But I say that I'm a person that would say ingenuity and human dreams start as a dream, not to become a nightmare. They turn into nightmares.
Yeah.
I don't think we started out that way. I think so, look at LSD, man. LSD is a good example. You got what's that program called?
They did try, and they tried to weaponize.
They tried to weaponize LSD, man. MK Ultra.
MK Ultra, yeah.
Yeah, MK Ultra mind control stuff, right? And it probably worked. It probably was used to kill Bobby Kennedy, where this guy didn't know he was of a suggestive mind, because everyone has a different brain makeup, and some people are submissive to hypnotism.
Yeah.
And would, under the right conditions, if you given such drugs and given the right imagery, you could plant ideas in people's heads. It's happened before.
Manchurian candidate stuff.
Yeah. And they gave it a shot, right? What kind of asshole goes, LSD, got a great idea, boss. What we should be doing. I reckon we can make assassins, mate. We can make assassins out of this shit. All right.
How come we don't?
How much money do you need? I need $10 million. There, here's the check.
I'm just waiting for weaponized kittens. Like that's the trajectory that we're fucking on.
Oh man, you should. Have you checked out a show called Dirk Gently's Holistic Detectives?
I started watching that. I didn't finish it. It looked really fucking excellent.
It's really good, and they got a weaponized kitten in it.
There we go.
You got to check it out. You being a cat man, you would love it.
Don't let the government see.
Yeah, don't let. Yeah, no. No, they put I think it was a great white shark soul into a kitten, because they can push souls into different different things. And it's a time travel thing. Check it out, man. It's really fascinating. I really enjoyed it. Written by the same guy that did Hitchhiker's Guide. That's where it comes
awesome.
from.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, so really good value. I was glued to it. I started watching. I even bought a fur coat just because of that show.
Whatever made you buy a fur coat, it's great. Like,
well, actually, there's three things that made me buy that fur coat. And sorry, and before that goes crazy in the comments, it's faux fur. Okay, it's faux fur.
I was hoping it was made from cow.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing like a dead cow and wearing it on your. Actually, I do have a leather jacket. I shouldn't talk too much about that. But I do like.
What? Cowhide just sitting there.
Oh yeah, that's the desk. Oh yeah, sorry, folks. You can't see it on the cameras, but on the producer's desk where Wade sits, it's actually got a cowhide on it.
Man, is this just a house of death for cow?
Yeah, man. Oh gosh, it is a bit of a house of death, actually. No, but I do enjoy the French polish table. I French polish this table myself.
What is French polishing? Wait.
You're going to love this. You are going to love this. Okay. Humans are fucking weird, man. Humans are just fucking weird. Do you know what shellac is?
Yeah.
Shellac is beetle shit.
Yeah.
So you get beetle shit and you put it in a sock or stocking and you polish with it.
Oh, wow.
And you can put a stain in it. And that's where you get the stain. So you put a stain and you get the shellac.
Be like beetle shells. We use them for like fucking everything.
Yeah, no, we use beetle shells as well. Actually, to be more truthful, shellac is more of a beetle resin. Like it's an excretion, not necessarily poo.
Someone's just sitting there stressing out this bug.
Hey, come on! Well, someone pointed out to me the other day. Talking about stressing things out, like weed, right? Smoking. A lot of people smoke weed. And weed, essentially, to get high from weed, is a sexually frustrated plant.
What?
It's a sexually frustrated plant because buds come from the female version of the plant.
Yeah.
Because the male version has the seeds. Mm. So you don't want male plants, you want female plants.
Yeah.
And the female plants grow the buds, but you don't ever want it to be seeded.
Yeah, shit.
So you deprive it from the male. So technically, weed is a sexually frustrated plant.
That's shit.
Interesting way to think about it. Now you feel bad. You're like, oh. Or because I don't want seeds in it.
Yeah, that's fucking
And the more
crazy.
frustrated it is, the more pollen it makes because it's trying harder to get
like
to get a seed.
Blue balls.
Yeah, it's got blue balls.
Buds.
Yeah, blue ovaries. It's got blue ovaries.
Yeah.
Because it's a chick.
Blovaries.
Blovaries. Yeah. No, true story, man. It's sexually frustrated, and the more sexually frustrated it is, the higher the potency.
That's real. Like, imagine if that was an animal. How evil would we be?
Yeah. Think about that. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. Let's get fucking crazy. Everything has DMT in it, right?
Mm.
So dimethyltryptamine. Everything's got DMT in it. And they when you dream, that's supposed to be your DMT that's active. Like if I say to you, picture an elephant, you go, oh, grey elephant.
Yeah.
Pink elephant, whatever. You picture that, and it's pictured in your third mind, and that chemical reaction that made that image in your brain is dimethyltryptamine. And when you're asleep, it goes fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And when you take the drug, it releases all of your dimethyltryptamine.
Yeah.
And apparently, when you die,
I heard that when you die, your pineal gland just goes, here, buddy, have all of this.
it just goes, this is my last shot, bro.
Yeah.
This is it. Hopefully, this helps. Probably won't, but hopefully.
I've always said, like, I never want to die in my sleep. That's terrifying. But, like, after finding that out, I was like, I definitely don't want to die in my sleep.
I think
I'd be wide awake and getting high as fuck.
Well, I've had about 5 DMT experiences.
Yeah.
And one of them, well, actually all of them, when you smoke it, you forget that you've smoked it immediately.
Yeah.
You have no memory of it at all. And then you're in this state of mind, you're like, I'm panicking, oh my god, I'm panicking, where am I?
I've done it a few times, and each time it's just fucking abject fear.
Yeah, total fear.
Yeah.
But once you go, oh, that's right, I took the thing, that's why I'm fucking terrified. And they go, but I'm still terrified.
Yeah.
I'm still terrified. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want this. This is too much. I don't want into this. And then the little voice in my brain will go, but you've had it, man. You can't get it out of you. It's in you now. It's in you now. And then at one point, after so much wrestling, you have to give in.
Yeah.
And then it's all good from there.
Yeah, like the first time I did it, someone explained it to me and they said, yeah, you're going to like feel like you're dying.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever.
It's terrifying.
And then like doing it, like I was convinced that I was fucking dying, and I'm like resisting this and having a horrible time. As soon as like I just gave up, went fine. Then I went, oh, and had a great time. And I thought the second time that I did it, I went, oh, okay, I know that happens. So this time I know I'm not going to die, and I had it instantly. Still. No, this time I am dying.
Yeah.
The third time, I'm like, no, this time I am dying.
Yeah.
I just can't skirt around it.
Yeah, because it removes that you don't have the memory of doing it straight away, because it has such an effect on you. You don't actually have the memory of doing it.
Yeah.
Until you have the memory of doing it, which could happen in a second or so, but that second could be an eternity.
Yeah.
Right? It could feel forever, that second. But I've listened to people describing about how they almost drowned. Or people that had been revived after drowning, and they would describe it as, all right, so you're under the water, and then when you're underwater and you get to that panic point where you go, need air right now.
I did that when I got stoned and put my head under the water for 2 seconds.
No.
Yeah.
Right, so you get to that panic stage, right? And for people that are drowning, there's no avoiding it. You go, oh no, and then panic will set in.
Yeah.
Once your body is aware that you're not going to get that air, panic will set in. And then once they are panicked and they gets to a point where the panic is too much, it's just too much, and they go, that's it. They accept their fate.
Yeah.
And then they feel euphoric.
Oh yeah.
They feel okay.
Yeah.
They feel relaxed. So I think it's your body's way of going, yeah, it's a shit deal, but here you go.
Yeah.
It's a shit deal, bro. And maybe this will give you enough to get out of this. Who knows?
Yeah.
And maybe a last fighting chance. So yeah,
like the purpose of that is like the whole like your pineal gland just going, hey, get high now that you're dying. Like what? How did we develop it? Like what was the? Like,
yeah, but this is where it gets strange. Maybe it is in a dreamscape. Maybe it is a to get all woo on it, or a god chemical. Maybe because it's in flowers. Like, do flowers dream? You know.
Yeah.
Does beef dream? You know.
Fucking better.
They better not fucking not kill their dreams. Yeah. Yeah, do things do that? Is there another world out there? Is it multi-dimensional, and is this the molecule that accesses that, or is it just a molecule that helps us progress and dream? Is it just part of our evolution? No, is it to look at it purely scientifically? That you can't, you can never know that really, I guess.
Especially not humans. We're too like us-centric.
Mm.
Like you just talk to anyone, they're like, oh, something moved in the house and there was no one there. They're like, obviously that's a ghost. You're like, that's because you're thinking like, hey, I'm the human here. I'm very important. Something happened that I didn't know what happened, so it must be profound. Like maybe the whole like, the whole DMT thing and like your pineal gland, like it's not really that significant.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, but maybe it's just like, well, we're pretty goddamn important. So
yeah, we do give ourselves a big pat on the back as humans. We do that. But when you really boil it down to significance, we're on a billiard ball, right?
Yeah.
If you go with a micrometer and look at a billiard ball, the variation in its depth and height is bigger than what you'd find in Marianas Trench and Mount Everest.
Yeah, wow.
So if you scaled up a billiard ball to the size of the Earth, the Earth is smoother.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy, right?
That is nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we literally live on the shine of a billiard ball.
Yeah.
That is traveling at 110,000 kilometers per hour around a star.
Yeah.
That is not, because most people think of the sun, they just think it's sitting in space and we go around it. It's also moving.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like when the dinosaurs were on the planet. Our solar system was on the other side of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Like, which is fucking
Well,
nuts.
the galaxy's moving too, so we're moving we're moving up and down through the galaxy.
It's starting to make me feel ill.
And then we turn through the galaxy.
All this moving.
But we live on the surface of a billiard ball.
Yeah.
And on that surface is 7 billion lives.
Yeah.
Well, how significant is one person?
Yeah.
It's a paradox. It's a paradox because you go, well, they are significant, but in the scale of the universe, well, when you die, will the universe notice?
Well, like it's like we're significant in concept because like going back, like trace just your parents and then their parents and then their parents and then war happened and all this shit. There was famine and stuff, going all the way back to like a common ancestor and thinking that like all these things in retrospect had to go exactly right just for me to exist. And so that seems really significant and really special and stuff. But it's just another dice roll in the universe.
Yeah.
And if if the universe is infinite, and if there are more than one, if there is more than one universe, which is like a consensus is that's probable, then there's infinite numbers of dice rolls, and so we're still not fucking significant. We're still not. But I liked what Albert Camus would say. Because being an absurdist, he would say nothing means anything. There's no reason for anything. And usually that makes people feel this intense fucking dread. But he said we're lucky enough or stupid enough to be able to like insert meaning, our own meaning into life. So he said like, even though nothing means fucking anything and nothing's significant, we're at least, I suppose, dumb enough to tell ourselves
to give it meaning,
that there's something that's really, really worth doing stuff for.
Yeah, we even have a saying for it. We go, well, everything happens for a reason.
I fucking hate that.
We all have that. But sometimes it does feel like that, man. It does. I experienced that recently, where things happen. It maybe not happened for a reason. It was coincidental. Like I did a last year. Well, I'll try to tell the story really quick. Every year I do Made in the West, right?
Yeah.
And I do the main clip for Made in the West. And it's like a leapfrog model. So I promote the next year's festival on last year's clip.
Yeah.
And it's essentially the flagship clip of the year that I make. And, it has high value. Yeah. Very high value. And out of all the things we make, this clip has the most value.
It's your first foot forward.
Yeah. And it is the tip of the spear.
Yeah,
it is the thing that penetrates through, right? It's the forward march, the flagship. There's all kinds of connotations or metaphors you can give it. It's an important clip.
It's fucking important.
It's fucking important. And my producer forgot to push the audio record button.
Yeah.
For all of the interviews, all of them.
What?
Yeah, so when I'm editing
Every
it,
single one.
every single
Was this the
interview.
last one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but did you notice anything? I got them all into my studio to record their voices over themselves.
Mr. Foley over here.
Yeah, man. You would have known, huh? Unless I told you, you wouldn't have known. The whole thing's dubbed. The whole thing.
How tedious was that?
It took me 30 hours.
Jeez, man.
And 12 people scheduling them, coming around, getting them in. So a clip that normally takes a week to build took me months to build. I had to build. I had to be built.
Yeah.
I can't out of the legacy of the business and of the festival. I can't have this gap because it's a leapfrog model. If you take that out, it's a stack of cards. It can kind of work, but then it'll be jagged after that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it.
That's fucking crazy, man.
So yeah, a little mistake that turned out to be a really big problem.
Yeah.
So I fixed that really big problem. But I had a big shout out to Maria Tran, action superstar. She... you've seen this clip, right? So she came over and then she's come into the studio, and every time someone comes in, they're like, "Holy fuck, man! Like, look at this room, dude. You work in here?" Okay, yeah, I like to surround myself with fucking craziness.
When did your mum bring in the party pies?
Yeah. Where's the lemonade? You know, where's the lemonade and the party pies? But you know, I've got the size and the nunchucks, and she's like, "Do you know how to use this stuff?" I go, "Oh yeah, I can use it." And I showed her some things. She's like, "I want you to be in my movie." I'm like, "Stop it! No, you don't want me in your movie. You're just saying that to be nice."
Yeah.
And no, she looked at me square in the eye and says, "No, I mean what I say. I want you in my movie."
That's wicked.
So a little bit of convincing it took her, but she convinced me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a director and a writer. I'm not a on screen and a presenter. I interview people. I talk to people.
Imagine it'd be like something that you'd feel self-conscious about.
Yeah, well, I think the closest thing that I get to that is voiceovers and being a singer. Like it's a performance. Yeah. But the rest of it is directing performance. It's a different beast. Yeah. But it worked out really well because I went and did this. I went and did this film with her. This fight choreography, this big fight scene. I had to give 2 monologues, which was a lot of pressure because you got everyone on set. The money's ticking because the camera's ticking, right? Yeah. You got to deliver. Totally did my delivery. Made sure I was rehearsed. Made sure I was well schooled in what I needed to do. And you know that clip is hitting all over the place. I've got people contacting me all over the shop over it. Shit. It's gone really well.
That's awesome.
All because a guy forgot to push record on a button. Yeah. You know, so
there's that serendipitous dice roll, man.
And it's easy to say, well, things happen for a reason. Yeah. You know, and you can look at it that way. Or things could be serendipitous.
I think we say like the whole, like in those types of situations, which is like the same situations people usually say, or even like conversely, it's when it's like some big bad significant thing has happened. We say it because like we see it as a significant thing and we value this thing that's happened. So we're like, oh, you know, things happen for a reason. We're like trying to give it clout. We're like, this is a very significant thing, and isn't it just, you know, very otherworldly that all these tiny things happened for this to happen? But like it's something you can't like. It's not something you can chop off like just at the tail. We're
yeah,
like,
did a ghost entity enter my producer's mind that day and gone, don't press record. Don't press record on anything. I don't think that happened. But
no, but it's a nice way to think of things.
Like, yeah.
It's a great way to think of things instead of just going, it was one of infinite dice rolls that's happened.
Yeah,
it's the same dice roll that makes mundane things happen.
Yeah, it gives it. I think I look at it as a word I would use is romance. It makes it romantic.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it makes it romantic.
No, there's nothing wrong with humans like doing that. It's really good. It means we value something. We value the time that we're spending in doing something.
Oh man, I had clip rage over this clip though. I tell you, I was fucking upset. Yeah, like imagine, you know, you're in traffic for 3 hours and someone just cut you off. Yeah. For no good reason.
I would have.
And then changed their mind, then they went back into their lane.
I would love to have just like a fly on the wall. I can't imagine how infuriating.
Misty had to brush my hair pretty much. Just calm down, Ross. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. Shh.
She's like Jen Morrison, but actually a nice person and cool.
Yeah, no, she, Misty sorted me out, man. She did. That was really, I was so upset for 3 days.
Yeah.
But out of it, here's the irony. I recorded it so well that it sounded too good. So I had to muddy it up a bit. And I put imperfections into it to make it sound live.
Oh, that's the thing. That's like in any medium of art. As soon as it's too polished, that's why like I kind of know the Renaissance was great, but like looking at it sometimes, like it's very polished. It's very polished. You need like you need more input. Like, but then you look at a Cézanne that's like absolutely unfinished, and it's infinitely more beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that's. I never looked at the Renaissance that way.
Yeah,
it is very polished, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
like technically, it's brilliant. And and it's like a pillar, of course, in history, but still, just aesthetically, maybe it's just tall poppy shit. When we see something that's too good looking, we're like, well, fuck
that fucking Michelangelo and that Leonardo.
You didn't even do that. You paid some 12-year-old to do that.
Upscale David wasn't that fucking good anyway, you know. Actually, it is. I have seen the statue of David, and it is fucking insane.
Yeah,
it's amazing the detail in that. You're taken aback. How do you scale that up and get that detail and the proportions right? It's just insane. And not to make any mistakes. Like I when I do art and I try to, you know, when you're chipping away at something or when you're making a brush stroke, that's it. That's on there. It's hard to cover up. It's hard to Command Z on things, man. You know.
Yeah.
There's no Command Z on fucking chipping away at marble.
Like I got really disillusioned with like making shit for fucking ages because I was getting too fastidious with stuff, and you'd fuck up one little thing and go, oh, this is ruined. I've overworked it, or I've really misjudged something. And so then I spent like the last year just like going fuck it and just like trying to undo all this stuff that I've done and just go back to like really loose, messy fucking lines.
Yeah, freedom, man.
Just to like relax a bit, relax it up, and then I figure after a year I'll bring it back in and mash it up with other stuff that I've learned and other techniques I've got over time and stuff. But like, it's so much fun. It's so much fun just going, fuck it.
Yeah, it removes the stress element. You're not being stressful about it. And I say this to my team a lot. Like when I make clips. They would have criticisms that are of I would consider to be minute and insignificant, and they would go, "No, you need to change this." I said, "I'll tell you what, let's show 6 people, and let's see if they notice."
Yeah.
And if they don't notice, then it ain't changing.
Yeah.
And if they notice, I'll change it. And you go, I can't say anything to them beforehand, and then I've slowly taught them that you don't need to. Things don't have to be perfect for them to be entertaining. They don't have to be like, and when I started studying these things, like I remember when I watched Pulp Fiction, I was blown away. Like what a piece of art this is! It's cinematic fucking brilliance. But when I became learned in cinematography, you realise it's quite poorly shot. There's a lot of problems in it.
Yeah.
Some of those track shots that they're doing, there's a lot of out of focus stuff. It's nowhere near perfect.
Well, I think,
but you look at it, you go, fucking awesome movie.
Like, I think because it apes nature. Like, the more imperfections there are in something, the more aesthetically pleasing it is, whether we notice that or not, whether we realise that or not. And I think off the back of that, like, we've got, in advertising and all this shit, like, the things that are around us that we're looking at every day are so polished and so perfect. That maybe people are looking at imperfect stuff, looking at stuff made in garages and stuff made in one take, and street art and stuff, and just going, fuck, because I've had enough of perfect shit.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just the juxtaposition of like the shit we're seeing around us all the time. We're over it. We're sick of it, and so like imperfect stuff. Yeah, it's a bit fucking nice.
I've got an example for that. I've because I watch a lot of skate videos.
Yeah.
And normally when you watch a skate video, you'll see people landing a most insane ollie or doing an insane grind. But what I'm starting to see now is they show all of their failures.
Yeah.
And then the success. Because before they'd just show the success, they'd never show the lead up to it. It was always perfect.
Yeah, like I'd have friends when we were younger, because all I did with my friends, like I think from like maybe 15 until like 25, we would just skate. That was fucking it. And like, but you'd get people watching this video going, you know, look at this person falling over. You're like, you haven't been to a park then, or you haven't been to a demo then. Like, to realize that people are just constantly falling down and fucking shit up.
Yeah, you can't get it right the first go. It's not possible.
Yeah, and like that whole presentation, I've seen that swing in skate videos recently. Like now, recently, more and more. Like they always used to, like, you know, I used to buy 411 VM tapes, loved them, and they'd show you some stacks and shit. But I think now these days, you watch anything on like Facebook, and like the point of it is they'll show you like fucking 30 stacks, 40 stacks before someone lands something.
Yeah, because it's way more powerful.
Yeah,
because if you see someone getting it perfect the first go, you go, oh, that's a really cool jump. But now all of a sudden you go, man, he tried that 30 times to get that.
Yeah, imperfection gives something character.
Yeah, totally.
Give something a history, gives it a story, even if that's a 5-minute history or story, and that gives value to an object or to a performance or a piece of art or anything.
Well, I think that's the lesson of the show for the day. That's the lesson for the show.
Be a fuck up.
Yeah. Gentrify the area, but don't be too perfect at it. Allow the floor to be sticky. Allow the beer to be a little bit subpar, but just put in a good environment, man. Don't overdo it.
Exactly.
Just do it to the point where people are happy and entertained. Man, but I think we're out of time. I think we've got to get going. But man, Scotty Belshaw, thank you so much for being on the show. You are definitely becoming fast a resident guest on the Pagey train, so I thank you very much.
Well, as long as you're the only place that has beers on Good Friday, I'll be here.
Yeah, fantastic. I do feel, before we go though, I do feel a little bit guilty. I ate a burger, double patty, bacon, no fish.
Doing your part.
No, but I felt like when I was eating, I'm like, I should have got a fillet of fish. But I go, but you're not religious. Well, on that note, you've been watching The Pagey Train. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and, of course, iHeartRadio, and definitely YouTube. And if you've been enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe. And if you've really been enjoying the show, hit the little notifications button right here. You've been watching The Pagey Train, and we'll see you next time. That wasn't forced at all. That really came out natural, I thought.
I love it. I worked in telemarketing. I love it.
Yeah. Do the script. You know the script. Do the script. How are you today, ma'am?
Say the line, Bart.
All right, cut the record there, bro.